Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Like and share the program. Share on your platform. Share to family and friends. Invite someone to join us on this very program. Please try to invite someone to join us. Do not keep the message to yourself. You cannot be in this program alone. As you connect, invite someone to join us. There is a very wrong narrative that we want to straighten up. As you know, our enemies are not relenting. As long as they are not stopping on their propaganda, we are not stopping either on our own side. As they continue to push their lies, we will continue to debunk their lies. We know those who are standing for us and those who are against us. So wherever you are watching me from, please invite someone to join us. Invite someone to join us on this program. Every one of us have known what is happening. We have seen what transpired yesterday at the court. You know, every time Mazi Nnamdi comes to court and goes back, the Nigerian media will begin to create their own narratives. The saboteurs will begin to create their own narratives. You will begin to see different kinds of narrative created from different angles. People will begin to believe certain things that are not obtainable. It has been that way for a very long time. And that is why we feel that it is important that every time Mazi Nnamdi goes to court, we have to come back and set the record straight. If we do not set the record straight, people will tend to be believing lies to be the truth. There are so many wrong information that are flying out there. So many wrong informations. And the more they continue to push these wrong narratives, if you don't tackle it, people will begin to believe it as being the truth. That is why it is necessary that we must continue to debunk every lie they tell. There are so many lies that are being told. Just yesterday, Mazi Nnamdi appeared in court, and in that his court sitting, as I always say, that whenever he's preparing to come to court, we expect revelations. Massive revelation. And the revelation that is coming is so huge or technical that if you don't pay attention, you will not be able to notice. Anytime he's coming to court, the saboteurs will prepare themselves to get items that they're going to use to deceive people. Nigerian media will prepare to create their own narratives. These are what you expect anytime Mazi Nnamdi is going to court. And that is why you must pay attention. That is why it is necessary that we come online and speak. Already, Mazi Nnamdi came to court and he made a profound statement, which is not different from what he has been saying from day one. But today, when you see the way the media is hyping his statement and the way saboteurs are repeating this statement, it will seem as if Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said something different from what he has been saying. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has not made any different statement from what I've been saying. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has always made it clear that he is not supporting the loss of life of any Biafran. In fact, he has always made it clear that the restoration of Biafra is not to take any life. It is for the benefit of all black race. He has said it many times that the objective of Biafra is to preserve life and not to take life. So sometimes when you see people begin to repeat his statement, it seems as if he has said something different. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has not said something different from what he has been saying from day one. That is the undeniable truth. But people choose to say different things altogether, and they choose to paint a different picture. That is why today you bring narratives. Whenever he opens, and we know that as people who are praying that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will open his mouth and speak against the Biafran government. Laughable. There are people who are praying and wishing that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will utter a word against the Prime Minister of Biafra Republic of Nigeria. Laughable. You can continue to have your wishful thinking. You can continue to hang on to your wishful thinking, but it's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. It does not matter what you think, how you feel. Your feelings and your thinking and your whatever cannot change the circumstances. The truth remains the truth. And the truth cannot be thrown away. To limit. His pursuit for restoration of Biafra is not something that is questionable. You can't bribe him. You can't cajole him. You can't tone him into a different direction. He knows what he wants. And from day one, he has made everything clear, what he wants and what he's pursuing. So for you to wake up today and you think you can change the narrative, you're a dreamer. Keep on dreaming. Wishful thinker. That you wish for this and wish for that does not mean that your wish is going to happen. But my fellow Biafrans, I urge every one of you to please stay strong and be focused. Continue to be focused on the need of the people. The desire of the people is to make sure that freedom comes to everyone. The media of the zoo is not relenting in their propaganda. Today, the propaganda they are pushing today is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is begging for out-of-court settlement. A lie from the pit of hell. The supreme leader of IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is not asking for any out-of-court settlement. The question was in fact presented to him. When the question was asked by a journalist in the court, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said, I cannot seek for what I did not initiate. A direct answer. The girl asked the question twice. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu laughed the first time and answered. She wasn't clear, and she said, it is a direct question. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu gave her a direct answer. I cannot seek for what I did not initiate. As if that is not enough. The lawyer of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu went further to explain and yet, with all this in the media, done on video, Nigerian media still decide to create their own narrative that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is seeking for out-of-court settlement. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not. has never planned to. The earlier you understand this, the better. It is a fact that is undeniable. It is that you accept it or you leave it. It is a fact, an undeniable fact. And there's nothing anybody can do about that. Today, as we speak, the restoration of Biafra is something that is in the heart of every Biafra. They have tried everything they can to turn Mazi Nnamdi Kanu against the Biafran government and against Mazi Simon Ekpa, but it has become impossible. Very impossible. The more they try, the more they fail. And for those of you who continue to call names to the Prime Minister, you continue to call Prime Minister names. You call him a criminal. You call him a terrorist. Every single call you are making to him, you are going to pay. Finally, Mazi Simon Ekpa has put a stop to that, and he gave an order that the Liberation Army of Biafra and the police should go after everybody. Anyone that opens his mouth to call him a criminal, the person will come and explain what he has stolen from him or her. You have to come and explain. You don't just call someone a criminal and walk away. You don't just call somebody who has not stolen anything from you, somebody who has not done anything to you, somebody, in fact, you do not know, and you call him a criminal, somebody who is genuinely seeking for the freedom of his people. That will no longer be tolerated. You have done it for a very long time and continue to do it. But the time has come for you to pay for your evil. The Prime Minister of Biafra, the Republic of Mazi Simon Ekpa, has made it very clear before now. For those of you who is trying as much as possible to link Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to what he is doing, I am sorry for you. You are dealing with somebody who knows what you do not know. You are dealing with somebody who has intelligence more than you do. Before ever anything was started, Mazi Simon Ekpa made it clear to the whole world that he is not going to take order from the DSS. That everything he is doing today is by his own self and for his own self. My beloved brother Maxwell, I can see you. Thank you. So if you think that you can be an obstacle or a hindrance, or you think your propaganda and blackmail will link Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to what is happening today, you are wasting your time. You are wasting your time. The Prime Minister of Biafra, the Republic of Nigeria, even before the establishment of the government, made it clear that he's not going to take order from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And from the moment Biafra have a government, every decision is being made by the cabinet. Every decision is being made by the cabinet, and Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister, speaks on that. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not the one directing what the Biafran government is doing. And the Biafran government cannot wait for him to give order of anything. The Biafran government will respect Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and welcome him. Wherever he comes, his position is always there for him. Whenever Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes out, his position is there. We respect him so much. We respect him. We appreciate the effort he has put. Undeniably, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have sacrificed a lot. We respect that, and we will continue to respect. There's no two ways about it. But if you think that we are going to fold our hands and chicken out because of your blackmail, you are a joker. And our Prime Minister Mazi Simon knew that this moment will come. That was why, from the initial stage, he started very well. He knew that this very moment is going to come. That is why he prepared from the onset for today. Because today is going to come. And look at what you are doing. The only job the Nigerian government have today and their media is to do everything they can to link Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to the activities of the Liberation Army or the Biafran government. But you all know that the Biafran government was formed after the kingdom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not part of it. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not part of it. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not making the decision in the Biafran government as we speak. That does not mean that the government does not recognize Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We recognize Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and we respect him with utmost respect. But I bet you in all of that, there is no amount of blackmail propaganda that you can push that will stop us. The earlier you understand this, the better. The government of the people is going to speak for the people. And there's nothing any one of you can do about it. We have our decisions. We have already set up our plans. Every decision is taken by a cabinet. Stop trying to put Mazi Nnamdi Kanu into what the Biafran government is doing. And for those of you who thinks that our Prime Minister Mazi is violent, you haven't seen nothing yet. And I want you to go and read. The only people that can be described as violent in Nigeria is the government, using their military and their police. There are evidence to this. I am not just saying it for you to listen. I want you to go and make verifications. The only people today that supports and promote violence is Nigerian government, using their military. Violence against the citizens. Violence against the ordinary people. Violence against the masses. We have seen it on several occasions. And I'm going to give you one example. One popular example that doesn't have to do with a particular region. The first example in the northern part of Nigeria, in Zaria, against the Shiite people, El Zazaki group. The Shiite group, we are making a protest. It was just a march they were making. And their so-called chief of army staff then unleashed mayhem on them, and up to 1,000 people lost their life. What did they do? He claimed that they blocked his way. And because they blocked his way, more than 1,000 lives has to go down. In Nigeria, more than 1,000 lives have to go down because they claim that El Zazaki group blocked their way. Up to today, nobody has been held accountable. They even went further to kidnap their leader. And they imprisoned him. They held him for a very long time before he was granted a bail. He even lost his sight. What do you call that? Is that a friendly movement, a friendly negotiation, or a friendly settlement? That is what we call violence against the people. Another instances is when the youth rose up and they were asking for a better nation in that so-called Nigeria. The youth rose up in anger. They said enough is enough. And they were asking for a better country. As they were asking for a better country, what response were they given? The answers that you all know was not to divide Nigeria. The answers that you have heard about is not for the Biafran people, was not, has never been for Biafran people. The answers which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself supported and encouraged them when it was the youth of Nigeria, requesting that the violence is so much. The violence against the citizens, especially the youth, by the police was so much that they couldn't bear it. And what did they do? The youths came together and they protested and said, enough is enough. They do not want SARS anymore. You and I know how it ended. You call Mazi Simon Ekpa a violent person. Was it Mazi Simon Ekpa that led the NSAS? Was it Mazi Simon Ekpa that initiated the NSAS? Was it Mazi Simon Ekpa that took lives during the NSAS? Was it Mazi Simon Ekpa that was in charge of the NSAS? The answer is no. But in the midst of all this, even when you know that this man has not done anything wrong, even when you see clearly that the only group that is violent is the Nigerian government, yet you continue to paint a different picture and support something different. Then you want to force the Biafran people to toe your own narrative. You will continue to do that forever. In NSAS, the government, instead of listening to the cry of the people, that the violence against the youth is so much, what did they do? They brought more violence, which we saw on video. As I'm speaking to you, you can still open Facebook and you search the events of NSAS. You are going to see how the federal government of Nigeria was sponsoring talks against innocent citizens. You will see violence against innocent citizens perpetrated by the government. First of all, they use the talks. They sponsor talks to infiltrate the people who were genuinely asking for a genuine request. They were attacked on different fronts. Many lost their life. We saw government vehicle bring talks. It's not a hearsay or maybe. Everything I'm telling you is still online. You can still go there and search and see for yourself. You can still go and search. You will see for yourself. They brought violence against the people. When it seems as if the talks were not making headway, the government by themselves came in Lagos State. At the command of the man who is your president today in the zoo, they unleashed mayhem on innocent citizens. The military opened fire on the citizens. What were they doing? They were gathering in a place, demanding for the end to violence against citizens. But instead of listening to them, more violence was unleashed on the people. And of course, the rest is history, you know. As we speak, some people are still being held in so many detention centers, of which one of the former senator confirmed recently during their democracy nonsense they celebrated and was calling for their release. This is a country that is known for violence, and the violence is coming from the government itself, not from the citizens. Not from the citizens. We have seen it again and again, time and time again. And people felt it is okay. The government of Nigeria have pushed so much violence that at a stage, the citizens have begun to see violence as something that is normal. And when it happens, instead of blaming those who are responsible, they turn around and begin to blame their fellow citizens. What a shame. It is very painful, but it is the reality of the day that we cannot deny. But shall we fold our hand and say, nothing shall be done? Of course, we can fold our hands. After seeing all this violence, which the government unleashed on the innocent citizens, the Prime Minister of Biafra, the Republic was not there in charge. Neither was he pushing for anything. But when it became inevitable, when they brought that violence to the supreme leader of IPOB, Mazi, with that same violence, They went to Kenya and they kidnapped him. After they kidnapped him in Kenya, they brought him to Nigeria through extraordinary rendition. They brought him to Nigeria through extraordinary rendition. It became obvious that no, something must be done. And the Prime Minister took it upon himself to do something, to make sure he brings to an end that act of violence. And what did he do? He took up the mantle and began to preach the right message to the people. What is the message? The one and only single message that he brought is self-defense. He asked the people to defend themselves. That was the evil he did. That is the violence they are saying that Mazi Simon Ekpa is perpetrating. Mazi Simon Ekpa only came forward to ask people, defend yourself. After watching and seeing all the violence that the zoo have unleashed on the innocent citizens, it became obvious that if you fold your hands and pretend that you are not part of it, you are gone. Mazi Simon Ekpa came in and began to educate Biafrans, begin to tell them what they are supposed to do as the Prime Minister, because it has fallen on his shoulder to defend and protect the life of the Biafran people. What did he do? He began the evangelism and he began to preach. He began to preach and send messages to those who need to hear him. And Biafrans resonated with the message, because the only thing that Biafran people seek, as Mazi Nnamdi kind of said, is truth. Whenever the Biafrans see the truth, they will rush towards that. Anytime Biafrans hears or sees the truth, they will definitely walk towards that. Mazi Simon Ekpa came up with the message of self-defense. And the Biafrans saw that that is the only way out. That if we continue to fold our hand and pretend, Nigeria will continue to push their violence. And their violence knows no bound. They go against children. They go against women. They do not have the rule of engagement. There is no limits to the length they can go. This is a truth. That if you continue to deny it, at the end of the day, you are going to regret your life. The message comes up. Mazi Simon Ekpa took up that mantle and began to educate every one of us. He gave us the interpretation of self-defense, and all hell break loose. Finally, somebody who knows what they do not know has appeared, and they cannot handle it. They discovered that somebody, somewhere, has discovered what they are hiding. In fact, somebody has known what they do not know. The shame covered them. They could not be able to handle it. And they began to preach. They began to cry. They began to complain. They began to instigate. They began to push different kinds of propaganda. It is painful that at this point in time, there are some people who call themselves Biafrans, and yet they have not keyed into the reality of today. It is sad. There are some people who claim to be Biafrans who want to distort the truth. People who claim to care about you and I, but yet they are part of your problem. That is why one of the idiots will go to a radio station and begin to call out our prime minister. The idiot will go to a radio station and begin to speak against the prime minister, somebody who has not done anything against you, for no just cause. Either because you are ignorant. I see no reason why you can be claiming ignorance when you claim to be a lawyer, in as much as we know that some of you who claim to be lawyers are idiots. You claim to be a lawyer, yet you do not know the limits to self-defense. You can't interpret self-defense. And you come and accuse somebody of being a criminal when he has not stolen anything from you. The Prime Minister has issued a statement. He said, going forward, that whenever you prepare yourself to come to the media and call him a criminal, be ready as well to provide evidence to what he has stolen. If there's anything he has stolen from you, be ready and prepared to present it, or else you will have the Biafran people to condemn it. This is what you did during the time of Mazi and Kanu, and you walked away with it. We cannot tolerate that anymore. This is not the time of IPOB. Today we are dealing with the government. And when it comes to the government of Biafra, everything is involved. When it comes to the government of Biafra, there is no limitation. So if you think that your blackmail and your propaganda could be what you are going to use to demoralize the Biafran people, think again, because you are not going to succeed. You will never, ever succeed. Fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom across the world, wherever you are watching me from, I urge you to like and share this program. These informations I'm passing here are very important because the enemies of Biafrans are very good in distorting informations. They are very good in changing narratives. They are very good in spilling lies. Just imagine a case that just ended yesterday. Mazi and Kanu issued a statement on video, and today they are distorting that statement. They are distorting the statement that was issued on video and telling me a different thing. If we keep silent and we do not respond, it will seem as if it is the truth. That is why we must respond. We must have to respond. We cannot keep silent. It is very important and necessary that we must respond to every accusation against the Biafran government, against the Biafran people. Mazi and Kanu came to court, and he made it clear, his lawyers have made it clear, that until there is an assurance that Mazi and Kanu will get justice, no trial will go on. You cannot be talking about trial in injustice. A very clear statement that you cannot be talking of trial in injustice. As long as you continue to push injustice against the Biafran, against Mazi and Kanu in the court, the trial cannot hold. The lead counsel made it clear. You can see that the Zoological Republic of Nigeria do not want to grant Mazi and Kanu a fair trial. It is the same people that say that Mazi and Kanu will pass through the law court. That Mazi and Kanu has to pass through their judicial system. They say they do not want any political negotiation or political solution or whatever. They said it by themselves. And today, They have refused to pass through the same process that they prescribe. And instead of admitting to have violated international law, instead of to make the correction, what are they doing? They are now creating another narrative for themselves. And what is that narrative? The narrative they are creating today is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is asking for out-of-court settlement, which is a lie. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has never, at any point in time, requested for out-of-court settlement. He never did. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has never. The question was thrown to him. The question was thrown to him, directly to him. Are you seeking for out-of-court settlement? And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu answered in ABC, I cannot seek for what I did not initiate. How is that so difficult for somebody to understand? A very simple language. I cannot seek for what I did not initiate. That was the direct word from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But I'm surprised to see some of their media stations saying that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is asking for out-of-court settlement, pushing that narrative, so it will seem as if there is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu begging them, when we know it is a blatant lie. And you want us to pretend that these things are not happening. We cannot pretend. We will not. We cannot pretend that it's not happening. No matter how they try, they will never ever succeed. And we will continue to march on into our freedom. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu make the direction. And even his lawyer, the lawyer came forward to explain further. When the lawyer came, he explained further in a clear terms that everyone can understand. And he said that I am reminding them of what their law says. Their law says that they can discontinue the case. They have that opportunity to discontinue the case. That's what their court says. So he was just trying to remind them, for them to explore what their court says. If you do not want to explore what the court says, that is your business. Who then do you want to blame in that? It is just a reminder. Explore what your court says. And you are the one to make the move. You heard from the lawyer that they directed them to the Attorney General. And the lawyer said the Attorney General can come to them. The legal team made it clear. The Attorney General can come to them. It is not as if they are shutting all the doors. No. The doors is still open. Just like our Prime Minister also opened the door. Our Prime Minister told them, if you want to talk to me, pull your military out of Biafran territory. Pull your military from all places. Then, contact Finland government to negotiate and mediate between you and the Biafran people. Not to kidnap him. Go to Finland government to be a mediator. But instead, they choose to go to ask for kidnap. They are looking for those who can be able to conduct their kidnapping activities for them internationally, instead of pursuing the legal means that is made available to them. In the same way, the legal team is telling them, explore that space in your own law, discontinue this case, and go and settle. It is something you can do. You will initiate it, not me. But you know, their pride and arrogance and criminality will not allow them to say things the way they are. That is why they come and change the narrative. They come and paint a different picture from what the picture is. They want to make you believe falsehood. But no matter how they try, we cannot continue to believe all those nonsense. and they cannot distract us because we know where we are heading to. No amount of propaganda or blackmail will stop Biafran people from pursuing that which is theirs. It does not matter the blackmail, it doesn't matter the propaganda, it doesn't matter how they put it. There is no amount of pressure that will stop us. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made it clear before now that we have crossed the Rubicon. You see, that is why sometimes when I look at people who are waiting for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to speak, if you're one of those waiting for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to speak, it means you don't know whom you are. You do not know whom you are. You don't know your base. That is why you are waiting for him to speak. Because if you know whom you are and what you stand for, you will not wait for him to speak because he has spoken on several occasions. Every information that we need, he has given. Everything we need him to say, he has said. Why are you still bent on believing things that are not obtainable? Why? Why would anyone be believing things that you know that are not obtainable? Why will you still be pushing lies and propaganda? When you know that this man has told you everything he has told you, he has laid the foundation of the restoration of Biafra. He has spoken. And those of us who are the hardcore followers, a genuine Biafra, even if you have not been following him, all you need to do is to go back and listen to the messages of Nnamdi Kanu. Once you listen to him, you will never remain the same. And you will have a reason to praise, adore our Prime Minister Mazi for keeping the legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The zoo is trying so hard, but they have failed. One of the clear statements that is very clear is that IPOB is no longer. In short, we are no longer pursuing the rest of Biafra with IPOB. IPOB was established by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And those who he left in charge to take care of the group sold out. They sold out the IPOB. They betrayed him and sold him out. And from that moment onwards, IPOB is no longer what it used to be. They have turned themselves to be political pressure groups. They are now the spokespeople of the politicians. They speak on behalf of the politicians and they start for them. Everything they do today is on behalf of the politicians. They do not do anything to benefit the people. Whatever they are doing today is to benefit themselves for selfish interests. The only organization today that is standing, defending, and pursuing the freedom of Biafran people is the Biafra Republic in Exile, under the command of our Prime Minister Mazi Samaneka. And for those of you who is linking Mazi Samaneka to IPOB, you are an idiot. You are an idiot. Just like linking Mazi Samaneka to ESN, you are an idiot. There is nothing called ESN. Yes, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu formed the ESN. You kidnapped him, and ESN fell into the hand of the idiots who took them and handed them over to the governors. They confessed to that. ESN was handed over to the governors. Confession came from their HOD, the idiot that calls himself HOD. He handed over the ESN to the governors. He said that by himself. I am not making it up. The video is there. Go and search for it. You will see him speak. When they did that, the Prime Minister of Biafra Republic was able to rescue some of them who they were not able to take their life because so many of the ESM members refused to join that evil agenda. Those of them who have the blood of Biafra in them, who have taken an oath to protect and defend Biafra, and also to keep the legacy of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they refused to buy into that evil agenda. And so many of them refused to join them. And our Prime Minister Mazi Ekpa rescued them. And today, most of them have been transformed into a liberation army. So what we have today in Biafra land is an army. An army that is ready to defend us. An army that is ready to protect the land. That is what we have today. But when you come to their conventional media, most of the time they still prefer calling the ESN. They still prefer using that one they created for themselves just to satisfy their own selfish interests. They will still come online and they will be talking about ESN when we know that ESN is nowhere. What we have is Liberation Army. And the Liberation Army of Biafra have the rule of engagement. You don't see them going after civilians. You don't see them going after the innocent. It does not matter your tribe. It does not matter your religion. It doesn't matter your belief. They don't have any business with you. They are not against anybody. Just like as we are pursuing the freedom of Biafra, we are not against any tribe. We are not against any religion. Neither are we against any section or any belief. No. The only thing we do is to pursue our freedom. And the gate is wide open for anybody who cares about freedom. Anyone who knows what it takes to have freedom. If you know the value of freedom and you want to help Biafra, the arms of the Biafran people are wide open. The Prime Minister have said it again and again. That the Biafran government is open and willing to work with anybody that is willing to work with them. Whoever you might be, it doesn't matter. We do not have a personal enemy. The only enemy that we recognize that we have is Nigerian government. This government has done so much havoc. A violent government that does not care about its own people. The only thing they care about is destroying the life of its own people. This is what they have. Those are the ones we see as our enemy. Apart from Nigerian government, nobody is the enemy to the Biafran people. Our hands are wide open and welcoming anybody that is willing and ready to work with the Biafran people. The Biafran government is ready to work with you. Reach out in every area you can support to end this genocide that they are committing in Biafran land. In any area you can participate to put an end to this very calamity. You are welcome. The hand and the arm of the Biafrans are wide open. We are fighting for humanity. We are fighting for humanity. The life of Biafra today, the life of Africa depends on Biafra, in case you do not know. Just like Mazi and Kanu said, that in Biafra, Africa died, and in Biafra, Africa will rise. In Biafra, Africa died, and in Biafra, Africa will rise. So some of you who think it's a selfish pursuit of freedom, it is not. There is nothing selfish about the pursuit of our freedom. We, the Biafran people, are genuinely seeking for that which is going to give us freedom and be free. And we are pursuing it sincerely and earnestly, not out of envy and jealousy or wickedness. No. Not abusing human rights. No. Every human being on the planet Earth have the right to live and survive, explore, and be wherever they want to be. This is the right for everybody. And you cannot deny anybody that right. You can't deny anybody the right to existence. It is the right of every human being to survive, explore, live and be who they are supposed to be. The earlier you accept these rights, the better. That is why today the Biafran government is following every law known to man, following international law. Biafran government is obeying international law in every step they take, in every of their pursuit for freedom. It does not mean if you refuse to agree with them, it is up to you. What matters to us is that we are following everything we are doing lawfully, following the legal procedures to make our points. You might not like us. You might not like what we do. You can hate us. But that does not change the truth. It doesn't change the reality of the day. The truth remains that the only way to go is freedom and the respect to human rights. What we are doing today in Biafra land is what we call self-defense. For those of you who are saying we are being violent, no. As I said before, the only instruments of violence we have in Nigeria is the government itself. And I have mentioned on different occasions how violent they are. I have repeated it again and again and again. For you to know this, all you need to do is to just look back. Just look back and think. You will begin to realize that what we are saying is actually the truth. You will find out that what we are saying is nothing but the truth. The only violent people, the only people that are violent is the government itself, using every instrument of violence against its citizens. And they have done it on different occasions. They have done it on different occasions. Unquestionably, they have done it. They can't pretend about it. They cannot lie about it. No matter how they try to pretend, no matter how they try to lie, it cannot hold water, because their actions are evidence everywhere. You can see it. All you need to do is just look, and you will see the evil of the contraption called the zoo against their own people, against their own citizens. We have the group of wicked politicians who do not have soul in them. Today, in the midst of the hardship, while they are telling the citizens to adjust and manage, while the citizens are adjusting to manage their life, they themselves are increasing their bounds. They themselves are increasing their salaries. They themselves are increasing their acquirances. And while they are increasing theirs, they are telling the citizens, calm down, learn how to manage. It is sad. But the most painful part of it is that the people we are talking about, the citizens of Nigeria, are very docile. Docile to a fault that they don't care about themselves. The people you want to fight with, they will be the one to fight you. And that is why, for you to talk about revolution in Nigeria is a waste of energy and time. The better you go back to your region and think of what you really want and fight for it, the better. That is why Biafran people have resolved to go back to their region and secure themselves. What we are doing today is securing ourselves. What the Biafran have been doing is exactly what the world leaders have said in the just concluded summit in Ukraine. The Ukraine Peace Summit. All the world leaders agree with the fact that every region has the right to protect their territorial integrity. And all the world leaders accept that self-preservation is a must, they also accept and believe that you cannot force people to join you. That is the situation of Biafran people for the past more than 50 years. For more than 50 years, that has been the fate of the Biafran people. They have been forced to join a party which they never believed in. They have been forced to be part of a criminal gang which they never signed up for. They have been forced to be part of a group that does not mean well for any human being. And we said enough is enough. We cannot continue to wait for the international community. We cannot continue to wait for the world powers. We cannot continue to wait for those who claim to know everything but know nothing. We cannot continue to wait for those who care about their own personal interests. We cannot continue to wait for people that has nothing to offer to us except the pursuit of their own interests. The Biafran people have taken the challenge upon themselves to set themselves free. We agreed to do that, and that is exactly what we are doing. We will continue to do that until we are free. The freedom of Biafra is going to come like a time bomb. If you think you will stop it, I pity you. I pity you. Every day, the army of Biafra is being equipped more and more. Every blessed day, the army of Biafra is getting more equipment, getting more instructions, more alliances are coming. And just as my Prime Minister have said, you cannot win Biafra again. You can never ever win Biafra in a war again. Go and try. You will never defeat Biafra again. It does not matter your weapon of warfare. With the little resources we have, you can never ever defeat Biafra again. We have made our sacrifice. We have played our part. Biafran people have sacrificed more than enough. And at this time, Chukwu Okike himself have signed up for the project of restoration. And every one of us today that is speaking on different platforms, we are just an instrument in the hand of Chukwu Okike to actualize its own project. It is not my project. I'm not speaking here because I was paid or because somebody told me to do so. I am doing what is necessary to do. And everything I say is how Chukwu Okike directs me to say. I speak. And as I'm speaking, those who have the spirit of Biafra in them will hear me. Those who have conscience in this planet Earth, the genuine people who are human rights, they will hear when we speak. We are speaking and calling on the people of the world to put their searchlight on Nigeria. When we say certain things, we say, you must have to go on the ground and investigate. That is why our Prime Minister is posting some pictures, he's posting on his platform and videos on Twitter. Because no media is reporting what is going on in Biafra land. None. Before the whole world, the Chief of Army Staff came online and declared war against Biafran people. Excuse me. The Chief of Army Staff came and declared war against the Biafran people. In that declaration of war, what did he say? He said that today they are taking jungle warfare to Biafra land. And still yet, some people pretend and say that nothing is happening. As if that is not a fact. enough, he came again and said, they are going on asymmetric warfare in Biafra land. In every of those statements, when you hear war, war is not wrestling, it's not a play. War is not drama. And every one of us know the primary duty of the military. You know the primary duty of the military. That was why Shehu, on his interview on channel television, asked the Chief of Army Staff, why have you left your primary objective and you are focusing on secondary? Why? A question. Why have you left your primary objective and you are focusing on the secondary? What is the primary objective of the military? To protect and secure the territorial integrity of a country. They are supposed to be in the borders, protecting the country against the terrorists that are coming in from all parts of West Africa. But they seem not to care about that. Today, you and I know that so many places have been taken over by the terrorists. So many areas have been taken over by the terrorists. So many places. Villages have been taken over. Towns have been taken over. And terrorists are completely in charge, collecting tax. But the government of the day doesn't care. It doesn't bother them. The only thing that bothers them is people who are asking for self-determination. A right that international law gives to everyone. A right that African peoples and human rights gives to everyone. A right that Nigerian law itself gives. But of course, a country that does not obey its own law, how on the planet Earth would you want anybody to have faith in such a country? A country that does not respect its own law, how on the planet Earth would you want anybody, would you advise anybody to be part of that country? It is sad, but that is the situation of the zoo. And because of that situation, there is nothing we can do than to walk away now that we still have the time. And we thank Njoku that we have somebody like the Prime Minister of Biafra, Mazi, Ekpa, the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Biafra. We are lucky to have someone like him. And for the fact that we have somebody like that, we need to be proud of ourselves and who we are. We need to be proud of ourselves. If you miss this opportunity, in the next 1,000 years, you will not have it again. That is why every Biafran must be serious. Support the Liberation Army. Support the Biafran government in exile. Most importantly, financially, to equip the military to defend the land. The declaration of the restoration of the independence of Biafra is going to happen December 2nd. It is a done deal. It is not maybe it's going to happen. It is going to happen. Whether the devil like it or not. It is signed and sealed. And it's going to happen. So take it or leave it. Believe it or not, it is going to happen. And I want every one of you, wherever you are, to tighten up your belt. It is you that will save yourself. Nobody is going to save you. If you refuse to fight now that you have the time, a time will come when you will not have the opportunity to fight. You will desire to go for a fight and you will not have that opportunity. Now that you have somebody that is committed and willing to give you that way to do things you have to do, you better wake up. Wake up while you have the time. My fellow Biafrans that are watching, I urge you to please like this program and share it to all platforms. Share it to all platforms. The information that you must have at heart is that the only people that are perpetrating violence in Nigeria today is the Nigerian government. They are in charge of all the insecurity that is happening. not Mazi Simon Ekpa or anybody. This is an undeniable truth. No matter how you try to deny it, you cannot. It is an undeniable truth. And I want you to understand that in everything we do, we must not relent in supporting the Liberation Army. The only assignment they have today is propaganda to push you against Mazi Simon Ekpa and against Biafran government. If they succeed, you are done, you are finished. But of course, we have gone past that, and they can never convince, not even the least among the Biafrans, to follow them. Today they know they have lost the battle. And Nnamdi Kanu knows the people he has outside. He knows that his spiritual son knows what he's doing. One thing you must know is that we do not take orders from Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu have laid a foundation. We learned from him. And today we are pursuing the struggle based on the agenda stipulated by the Biafran government under the command of our Prime Minister Mazi Simon Ekpa. Every decision comes from the cabinet. The Biafran cabinet made the decision. There's no one single person that made the Biafran cabinet made the decisions. Do not attach Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to whatever decision that is being made. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has no say. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has a special place in our heart. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has a special place in Biafran government. And whenever he comes out from the hand of this year, DSS, he will take position. But as long as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in the hand of the DSS, the only focus today should be his freedom, and he cannot jeopardize his own freedom. There are certain statements you don't expect him to make, and certain statements he will make, and you will know why he made those statements. You don't expect much from him. You don't pressure him. Everyone today knows where we are going, and what we want. And Njoku will lead us to our destination. I appreciate every one of you that have joined me on this very evening broadcast. I thank you so much for being part of it. I have worked a lot and spoken a lot. By the special grace of Njoku, I will come back again, maybe by tomorrow, to continue to educate the Biafran people. But have it at the back of your mind that victory is ours. Support the Biafran Liberation Army. Play your own part. Pick up a responsibility, what you are going to be doing for Biafran government. Now, not tomorrow. Pick up something to do. And Njoku will equip you and strengthen you. We shall overcome. No matter the battle, we shall win. No matter what you hear, no matter the trials and temptation, we shall overcome. Do not chicken out. Don't allow anybody to intimidate you. We have a battle to fight. May Njoku guide and protect every one of you. May Njoku continue to protect and lead us to our direction. May Njoku be our guide and protection. Thank you so much for your guidance and protection. Thank you for being with me on this very program. Stay blessed. I will see you next time. Please share the broadcast. If you have not shared the broadcast, try as much as possible to share so that others can get this information. You know, every time Mazi Nnamdi Kanu preach, there is always a propaganda. So we must have to cut down this propaganda. Thank you, and see you again tomorrow. Stay blessed. Biafra government, please. Progress, unity, and equity. We move airborne.